In what was almost as long of a break as MrSavage retired for, Peterbot is officially back playing tournaments, and he ended up playing the first duo Div Cup finals today. We're gonna go over how every single brand new duo looked on both NA and EU. Of course though, real quick before this video starts though, please subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we try our best to upload daily competitive content for you guys. If you guys want to support me even more, far and away the best way to do so is by using code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop. We're continuing to shout out 2 people every single video who DM me proof of them using my code. Shout out to these 2 people on the screen right here. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Without further ado though, the way that we're gonna do these Victory Cup tournaments is we're gonna go over the top 10, talk about how some of the other big names did, and then go way more in depth for the actual finals. So in first place of NA was none other than Seek and Jojo Fishy on 403. They won 3 out of their 7 matches, got 51 total elims. Second place was Noxie and Mason on 397. Looks like they are back to playing with each other. Very happy to see, because they were super good at the beginning of duos last season. Third place, another duo that was super good in duos and was probably the best duo in all of NA of duos, if Rapid and Threats on 392. They won 2 out of their 7 matches, 67 total elims for them. Fourth place was Dragon, 5th was Jarg, 6th was Jamidi, 7th place was Curve and Chimp, 8th place was Aviv and Gary, 9th place was Bucky, and then rounding out the top 10 was actually an EU duo of Refscard and Ferdoxy on 373. Now this is actually a top 400 qual format, so we'll just go over how a couple of other big names did that were able to make the finals, like 12th place of Queasy and Curly on 365. Queasy is still on NA and he's going to be staying on NA for this entire season, and he is also going to be sticking with Curly for both duos and squads. Ark and Kanata finished in 45th, and no, I'm just gonna say this one time, Ark is not going on 0 ping until chapter 7. He's still on around 40 to 50 ping every single game. In 108th place, they are still sticking together in grinding. We have Clix and Higgs on 315, won 1 out of their 7 matches, 69 total elims from them. Also, of course, you guys know we're going to talk a lot more about them when we go over the finals. 122nd place is Josh and Yamzo on 312. So this duo has been able to qualify for every single final so far, ever since they formed together. Donnie and Bolts finished in 134th. We had no Agers, no Booga, no Acorn, no Cold. So pretty much all of their teammates had to play with some other people, and Donnie and Bolts were able to qualify. In 183rd place, we did finally get to see Peterbot play a tournament. He ended up playing with Skittles, finished with 305 points, won 1 out of his 7 matches, 67 total elims for them as well. He was still looking as crazy as ever today. If anybody was worried about that, he might be washed, since he did take about a week break from the game. Let me just show you this clip right here. He is looking as good as ever. And if you guys were wondering, yes, Poyo did end up still playing this tournament, and we'll talk about how him and Ritual did in a little bit. I don't really know what's going on with Peter and Poyo, because we are closing in on what feels like it's almost been a month now since the last time we've seen them play a tournament together. I know that they are still sticking together, and they will probably be back fully grinding for chapter 7. It seems like they do just want to take a little bit of a break from playing with each other, because we know they're about to play an entire year together. And then speaking of Poyo, he finished in 334th place, just barely being able to qualify. He is still playing with Ritual, the same duo that he played the Eval Cup with. They finished with 291 points, won 1 out of their 7 matches, 68 total elims for them as well. So yeah, pretty much all of our big names were able to make it into the finals. Let's actually move on to how the finals went now. Now in the finals, unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of our super big name duos be able to pull off wins, and some teams even had to deal with cheaters, and we'll talk about all that in a little bit. The team that did finish in first place though was none other than Manny and Z-Link. They were able to win their second game of the day with a 16 elim win, which was one of the higher elim wins that we saw out of anybody on NA. Second place was Pix and Netsu. I think this duo did have some cheating accusations. Pix has only played 16 total events ever. and Netsu has played 9, so I mean, do with that information as you think. Third place was Creon and Zavi. They were able to win their first game of the day with a 9 elim win. They said that they then went on to go and play West, and so they didn't even queue up for all 3 of their games. Fourth place was Eshu and Aminished. Fifth place was Liam and Rezi. Sixth place was Seek and Jojo. Seventh was Shadow and Virgo. Eighth place was Amplified. Ninth place was Muzz and Reet. I'm pretty sure this is the duo that finished with the highest elim win of the day, getting a 17 elim win in game number 1. That was an absolutely crazy game out of them. Reet literally had to get rebooted, and then they still ended up going on to win the game, which was just super impressive stuff out of them all around. Muzz and Reet still look like a super good duo, as they have been looking like for the past 2 seasons now. And then rounding out the top 10 was Sandman and 20. They won the last game of the day with a 14 elim win, and 20 also had an insane solo clutch. I'm not going to show you guys the whole clutch since it literally was like 3 minutes or something like that, but this win was literally completely on 20. He played absolutely insane. For some of the other big names that were able to get wins, we have 20th place of Clix and Higgs. They also won their first game of the day with an 8 elim win. In game number 2, they unfortunately ended up dying off spawn, and then in game number 3, they were both fully stacked, and it seems like they ended up dying to a hacker.
Mini room now.
Dude, like, they're cheating.
Yeah, he is.
Still though, either way, super positive sign for the duo that ended up winning the most games in the Div Cup finals last season, and were even able to close off last season winning a couple games in Eval Cups as well. This is a duo that knows how to win games, and they're continuing to show that this season as well. And then the only other super big name that was able to get a win was like 24th place of Visuals and Braids, winning their last game of the day with a 5 elim win. Some duos that still played super well but weren't able to pick up wins, unfortunately, was 33rd place of Arc and Kanata. This duo didn't have a single game outside of the top 6. They got an 18 elim 3rd, 6 elim 6th, and an 8 elim 3rd. I have no doubts that this duo is going to be able to win not only one but multiple games in the future now. They're just too good of a duo, and based on how consistent they look today, I have no doubts that they'll be able to get a win in the future. Peterbot and Skittles finished in 35th place today. This duo also unfortunately was not able to get a win. They got a 1 elim 11th in game number 1, then a 17 elim 8th in game number 2. So it seems like in game 1 they were just playing out the full format. Game 2 they decided to crash out some more and just W key a lot of people, and then they decided to not even queue up game 3. So it seems like Peter is still not necessarily like loving the game. I would say this is potentially just going to be a one-off tournament that he plays, and he's not just going to be like full back to grinding 12 hours a day playing every single region of every tournament. But I said it when we originally talked about him not playing tournaments this season. I said I really don't think there's any way he goes the entire season without playing a single tournament, and literally the first like major tourney this season we've had, he did end up playing it, but I don't think it's going to be a consistent thing throughout the rest of this season. Cooper and Sphinx finished in 39th place. They were super close to being able to get a win with a 9 elim 2nd in their first game. Donnie and Bolts finished in 40th. Also another duo that played super consistent today with a 6 elim 4th, 6 elim 3rd, and an 8 elim 6th. I don't think Acorn is going to be gone for like the rest of the season or something like that, so I'm expecting Acorn and Bolts to be back and playing together probably for, if not the Eval Cup, at least the next duo victory cup. Queasy and Curly finished in 41st place. This duo was super close to being the only duo on NA to win multiple games because they got a 9 elim 2nd and a 7 elim 2nd back to back, literally 2 second places for this duo. I expect Queasy to also probably win a game. We know that he is the king of high ground and one of the best game winners in all of Fortnite history. I also don't expect him to go the entire season without winning any games too. Ritual and Poyo finished in 58th place. Their best game of the day was a 4 elim 5th. And then Josh and Yamzo finished in 74th place, also super close to being able to get a win though, with a 5 elim 5th and a 3 elim 2nd. Knowing these victory cups, I won't even lie, a lot of the games didn't even end up going to heal off. Of course, some of them did, but it was a super fun tournament to watch all around. For the final statistics here now, take these with a grain of salt. I mean, a lot of underrated people, potentially some cheaters on here as well. We have Dark finishing with the highest damage ratio. I mean, I'm assuming these are just players that only played like one game. The most damage to players was Yud with 8,963. He also finished with the most elims with 24. Deployer finished in 2nd, Hero in 3rd, Mini in 4th, Sphinx in 5th, Scare in 6th, Jojo in 7th, 8th is Manny, 9th is Arc, and then 20 was in 10th. Here's all the other statistics as well if you guys care about any of these. Let's actually move on to how EU went now. Now in EU, a lot of our big names were able to make it to the finals. We did have one huge duo fail to qualify, unfortunately though. The duo that did finish in first place was none other than Ghost and Hyper on 424. Similar to what we saw on NA, on EU, a lot of our super good big name duos were able to still absolutely crush it in this brand new meta. Ghost and Hyper though won 2 out of their 7 matches, got 78 total elims and an average placement of 11.7. Second place was Strokey and Bevies on 418. They won 2 out of their 7 matches, got 73 total elims. Third place, we saw one of our best duos from last season of Focus and Thomas HD on 412. There was a lot of people out there that want to make the argument that this is currently the best duo on all of EU. And of course, we'll talk about them more later. Fourth place is one of the duos that I think has the potential to be one of, if not the best duo on all of EU, of Vico and Malabuka on 406. Fifth place was Gold. Sixth place was Death. Seventh place was Yamal. Eighth place was Josh. Ninth place was Seti and Rax on 384. This is a very interesting duo right here. We know Seti is looking for a duo and Rax is also looking for a duo. They're in IGL and Fragger coming together. Haven't like 100% confirmed that they're going to be playing together or nothing yet, but it seems like they are trying out and they were able to qualify for their first finals together. And then rounding out the top 10 was Craig. We did see some other interesting duo pairings like 17th place of Tayson and Ferdoxy on 366. There's definitely an interesting duo dynamic here because these guys were both IGLs for pretty much the entire year. It doesn't seem like these guys are like locked in, confirmed to be playing with each other for duos, but MrSavage is continuing to play with Panzer and they were even able to finish in 25th place. MrSavage and Yapko finished in 58th on 341, won 1 out of their 7 matches, 62 total elims. I also do continue to just absolutely love what I have been seeing out of them recently. They look like a very good duo and you can already tell that that chemistry is building between them. Some other cool duos we have is like 307th place of Swizzy and Pixie on 311. They won 1 out of their 7 matches, 54 total elims. It seems like Venya is taking this season off because Swizzy did go on to tweet out looking for a duo for this season, so they haven't like officially split up or nothing like that. But I have to admit, just based on what we have seen from them over the past couple of weeks, if Swizzy finds some real success with somebody like Pixie, I definitely wouldn't be surprised if they end up splitting up, but I still really do believe in Swizzy and Vanya as a duo, and I'm expecting them to probably be playing the first FNCS together next year. And then finally, unfortunately, our main big name duo that was not able to qualify was 405th place of Mongrel and Mixon on 306. Qual was 307 points, so they quite literally did miss out by 1 singular point. They were still able to win 2 out of their 7 matches, get 42 total elims. They just had a rough final 3 games to their tournament, which unfortunately led them to not being able to qualify to their first finals together this season, with BloodX coaching them now as well. Since they were so close to being able to qual, we did see them try to get some cheaters banned since this is a top 400 qual format, but unfortunately they were not able to find any cheaters to get banned. And it has now unfortunately been a little bit now since the last time this duo was able to make the finals of something. I think they have missed out on like the last 3 or 4 set lobby finals that they have been trying to make, so I'm hoping they're able to place well in the eval cup. Another duo that I just don't know if they haven't been able to learn the meta yet this season, but they have been really struggling in the 2 tournaments that we have seen so far. In 2,315th place, we have Vino and Chino. They finished with 260 points, didn't win any games, only got 59 total elims. In the eval cup a couple of days ago, they didn't even finish in the top 1,000, and now in this duo victory cash cup, they didn't even finish in the top 2,000. This is looking like it's setting up to be a rough season for Vino and Chino, and I'm curious on how long these guys are going to last for, because it really has been a rough almost month at this point for this duo. Let's actually move on to how the finals went now though. Now in EU, in the finals, we actually only got to see one duo be able to win multiple games, and that was an official duo, a duo that had such a huge year in trios, and now they are playing together still, of Darm and Demus. They were able to win 2 out of their 3 matches today, get 35 total elims, and have an average placement of 12. And these weren't no like weak, super low elim games. The games that they won, they got a 19 elim win and a 14 elim win. This duo finished with far and away the most elims in this entire tournament. They finished with 35 total elims, and no other duo was even able to get over 30 total elims. These guys played super good. They look like they have the meta figured out. Second place was Deployer. They were able to win their first game of the day with an 18 elim win. Third place was Vico in Malibuca. This duo won their last game of the day with a 13 elim win also, but they had a real chance to be able to win multiple games because their first game of the day, they got an 8 elim second. In the game that they actually won though, it came off the back of a amazing Vico solo clutch to pull off the win versus none other than Ferdoxy. So I want to show how that fight ended up going.
Nice. On the ground. One more.
Let's go!
No, bro. By the way, oh hell no. Please don't win. No, bro. Fuck this shitty ass cups. Fuck these VHV cups. Fuck this season. Fuck Simpsons and fuck Fortnite.
Vico and Malibuca continue to just look so good though, and I'm really happy that these guys are still playing together because we know Malibuca a lot of the times, especially in these off seasons, just likes to mess around a little bit more and play with his friends, but he seems to still be fully locked in, and I'm expecting big things out of this duo going into the future. Fourth place was Pablo and Zarbeth. They won the second game of the day with a 13 elim win. Fifth place was Denzi. Sixth place was Khan. Seventh place was Pink and Upple. They also had a real chance to win multiple games, getting an 8 elim second and 11 elim win. Really hope that Pink can have a good season here and build up some momentum going into chapter 7 now, because in last season, believe it or not, I don't think he qualified for a single Div Cup finals. Eighth place is a duo that I am super excited about to just watch for the rest of the season, because it seems like they are going to be playing every single tournament together this season, of Pixie and Swizzy. They won their second game of the day with a 9 elim win, and they also could have potentially won their last game of the day as well, where they got an 8 elim fourth. I've already seen a lot of people say that they hope that Swizzy drops Venya to play with Pixie. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Ninth place was Twek, and then rounding out the top 10 was Fana. Some other big names that got wins were like 14th place of Sky and Scroll. They won their last game of the day with a 12 elim win and almost won the first game of the day with a 5 elim second, but unfortunately they did choke a 1v2 versus Darm. We have MrSavage and Panzer in 19th place. They won their first game of the day with a 4 elim win. This also looks like a really fun and really good duo, hoping that these guys stick together going into the future. Also really cool to finally see both MrSavage and Swizzy grinding again. Shout out to Alba in 24th place, one of the best female players, if not the best female player in the entire game. Got a 4 elim win in game number 2. And then that was about it for all of our big names that were able to get wins today. For how some of our other big names did, we had like 42nd place of Chap and Trexer. Now, don't worry, Chap and Flixie didn't split up. Flixie just didn't end up playing today. Tayson and Ferdoxy finished in 67th place. This was actually one of the most consistent duos. They didn't have a single game where they placed lower than 7th place today, but they were unfortunately not able to get the job done and pull off a win. Though super good tournament out of them. I'm curious on if they are going to be playing the rest of this season together or not. We saw Ferdoxy play like the Reload Cup yesterday with Vino, and now he's playing the Duo Victory Cup today with Tayson. Interested to see who he's actually going to be playing the Eval Cup with on Tuesday. Seti and Rax finished in 78th. Their best game of the day was a 7 elim third. Focus and Thomas HD finished in 82nd. They also got an 8 elim second, which was their best game of the day. And then Yapko and Savage finished in 90th place today. Also, unfortunately, we're not able to win any games. Their match history was a 0 elim 9th, 2 elim 32nd, and then a 7 elim 4th in their final game of the day. I still was really impressed with how these guys were playing. You can see the chemistry continuing to build throughout them. I love the fragging potential. Savage still looks absolutely primed up. Yapko still looks like an amazing fragger to play off of him as well. Even though they weren't able to get a win today, I expect them to 100% be able to win at at least one, maybe even multiple games this season. And then I did forget to mention this earlier, but Shark and Teeny just ended up not playing today at all. So if you're wondering where they finished on the leaderboard, they didn't even queue into this tournament together. Moving on to the final statistics here. Now, the highest damage ratio was Denny's with a 3.91. The most damage to players was Demus. He also just absolutely popped off today. He had the second highest damage ratio with a 3.89, the most damage with 5,010, and the most elims with 22 total elims as well. Second place was Deployer, third was Pablo, fourth was Vico, fifth was Darm, sixth was Fur, seventh was One, eighth place was Swizzy, ninth was Pink, and then rounding out the top 10 was Pings. The most assists was Sky, and then here is all of the other statistics as well, if you guys do care about any of these. Remember though, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Big tournaments are finally back. I think tomorrow we might have the squad cash cups. I could be wrong though, so super excited to see how those are actually gonna go. This is Code K-Dog in the Fortnite item shop. If you guys want to support me even more, YouTube says to enjoy winning 2 videos up on the screen right now, so go check them out if you guys haven't already. Thank God for another day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.